This week I'm looking at section 4 of the listening, specifically at how you must still ensure your grammar is correct. Section 4 is almost always note completion. Although this is a long monologue, there will be a break in the middle usually, for you to look at the rest of the questions. Even though this is a note completion exercise, you mustn't forget the grammar. If your answer makes the grammar incorrect, then your answer is wrong. Let's look at an example from Cambridge 16. Remember your steps. First, you always underline the keywords if you're doing the paper-based test, or you can write them on your rough paper if you're doing the computer-based test. Then you should think of paraphrases for these words. You are usually not going to hear the exact same phrases in the question, so be prepared to listen for things that mean the same. Finally, answer as you listen. Do not attempt to listen to the whole thing and then fill in your answers. You will probably have forgotten them. Here is the transcript for the first question below. Clues and paraphrases are in green, and the answer is in blue. Listen, can you hear the answer as well as see it?
Good morning, everyone. So today we're going to look at an important creative activity, and that's hand knitting. Ancient knitted garments have been found in many different countries, showing that knitting is a global activity with a long history. When someone says the word knitting, we might well picture an elderly person, a grandmother perhaps, sitting by the fire knitting garments for themselves or other members of the family.
For question 31, the answer is grandmother, not elderly person, for two reasons. Firstly, the question asks for one word only. Secondly, only grandmother makes the grammar correct. Look at the sentence below. Using elderly makes the grammar wrong, so it is not the right answer. Here is question 32.
It's a homely image, but one that may lead you to feel that knitting is an activity of the past. And indeed, during the previous decade, it was one of the skills that was predicted to vanish from everyday life. For although humans have sewn and knitted their own clothing for a very long time, many of these craft-based skills went into decline when industrial machines took over.
We are listening for a time period in the past, and the lecturer says past, then mentions a time period previous decade. They then say vanish, a paraphrase of disappear. Remember, the instructions say one word only, so the answer must be decade. And finally, question 33.
However, that's all changing, and interest in knitting classes, in many countries, is actually rising, as more and more people are seeking formal instruction in the skill. With that trend, we're also seeing an increase in the sales figures for knitting equipment.
Here there is a paraphrase of buying, and it is sales figures. If sales are increasing, then buying is also increasing. The thing to find out is what is being bought. Here they say it is sales figures for knitting equipment. Again, they have given what seems to be a two-word answer, yet you can only use one. Look at the sentence below. Knitting equipment is a paraphrase of equipment for knitting, which is also grammatically correct. The answer, therefore, must be equipment. Remember, although note completion seems easier, IELTS does like to make sure of your listening skills by using paraphrases and checking your grammar. Thanks for watching. You can find practice for self-study and more help at the link below.